Hello and welcome. Chapter 7. Leo. Summary. Of course Leonardo would be the first to remember, and in the most dramatic way possible. The third round of the sports festival did not resemble any festival that Splinter remembered from his time in New York or Japan. There was running and artistry of athletic skill, but no joy in competition. It was, to his eyes, the Battle Nexus reborn under another name, only this time the assassins had been replaced with costume heroes and shifting politics of hero society. Still, he allowed himself to be proud. Raphael and Leonardo had advanced, and so had most of Class 1A, even without Michelangelo in attendance as a competitor. Their honor as warriors had been tested and proven. A quiet, private part of him wondered, would Leonardo and Raphael finally meet blade to blade, without trickery or bloodthirsty assassins at their back? The thought alone made his whiskers twitch with wry amusement. Then he heard President Mike announce the third event, one-on-one battles. Splinter's tail flicked sharply. Yes, he thought grimly, this is the Nexus, only with shinier trimmings. The arena lights flared as President Mike's voice boomed across the stadium. First year Midoriya Izuku versus Hamato Leonardo. The crowd cheered, but Splinter's attention focused solely on his eldest son as Leonardo stepped into the ring with fluid grace, twin katanas secured at his back. Across from him, Izuku squared his shoulders, green lightning already crackling across his clenched fists. Begin! Izuku launched forward, his quirk coursing through his muscles. The air itself seemed to crack as he rocketed across the arena. Leonardo met the assault with perfect calm, a precise pivot, deflecting with open palms. A flawless sidestep, followed by a sweeping strike towards Izuku's shoulder, then a fluid retreat like water flowing around stone. The crowd gasped at the display. Ninjutsu was foreign to most, but achingly familiar to the lone figure watching from above. Splinter's breath caught. Those movements. Those are my teachings. The balance, the precision, all unmistakably his instruction. His chest constricted with desperate hope. Could it be? Does he remember? Izuku's frustration mounted as every strike was met, redirected, neutralized. Calm precision against determined storm. Everyone could see he was pushing harder, desperation creeping into his movements. Then something snapped loose. Black tendrils erupted from Izuku's arms, lashing violently across the ring. His eyes widened in horror. Run, Leonardo! I can't control it! But Leonardo didn't retreat. His gaze locked onto the writhing darkness, pupils dilating, chest heaving with sudden, inexplicable recognition. And then Splinter saw what he'd prayed would never return. Glowing symbols crawling up Leonardo's exposed arm like living tattoos. No, no, no! The words tore from Splinter's throat, memory shouting his composure. The tribunal, the dragon spirits, their lifeless bodies in my arms. Not again. Please, not again. In the support studio, Donatello's welding torch clattered to the floor as burning pain shot up his arms. Strange geometric patterns blazed across his skin in brilliant purple light. What the? In the kitchen, Michelangelo dropped the pot he'd been stirring, orange markings spiraling up his forearms like chains of fire. He stared, transfixed and terrified, at symbols he didn't recognize but somehow knew. Waiting with Class 1B for his turn, Raphael suddenly screamed. His arms erupted in what looked like actual flames, red markings burning so intensely His classmates stumbled backward. "Raphael!" Kendo shouted, but he couldn't hear her over his own agonized cries. "An unstable quirk mutation," Minette gasped from her spot as referee. President Mike's usual boisterous voice and wavered. Folks, we got ourselves a situation here." Aizawa was already moving, capture scarf unfurling as he leaped from his seat, only to freeze as the markings blazed brighter. His eyes narrowed, erasure activating uselessly. That isn't a quirk. In the arena, Izuku stumbled backward, tendrils still beyond his control. "What's happening?" Leonardo's scream shattered the air. Claws erupted, wicked and gleaming. His shell cracked open and split as massive wings tore free, sending debris scattering on hurricane winds. A serpentine tail slammed into the ground, gouging deep furrows in reinforced concrete. His voice became something inhuman, a roar that silenced every soul in the stadium. Where Leonardo had stood, a great dragon now towered. Chaos consumed the stands. Civilians screamed and fled. Heroes surged to their feet. Class 1A sat frozen in horror. "Run, Izuku!" Splinter vaulted from the stands, shoving the boy aside, just as draconic jaws gaped hungrily. But instead of fleeing, Splinter dropped to his knees before the creature that had been his son. "Leonardo, please! It's me! Release the power! The demon is gone!" The dragon's eyes saw only enemies. Claws slashed at empty air, wings spread in challenge, tail lashing as it searched for an ancient foe that no longer existed. Another roar echoed off a distant mountain. Then a shadow swept overhead. A second dragon crashed down. "Stand back!" she commanded, colliding with Leonardo in a thunderous impact that shook the entire arena. Wings clashed against wings, claws raked through scales in a savage primal storm. Blood scattered across stone. Splinter's heart ached. "Stop!" His anguish howl cut through the chaos. "Please, Leonardo, let it go. You won't survive this again. I cannot watch you die twice." The other dragon grimaced as she grappled with the younger dragon, a chill running through her. This power, it's not a quirk, it's something ancient, wild, like he's burning his very life away. Izuku scrambled upright, trembling as the black tendrils finally receded. Tears streamed down his face. "Leo, please, you're stronger than this. Don't!" His voice cracked. "Don't die!" Desperate, Splinter reached beyond his fear. A memory stirred of a song the Ancient One would sing to Yoshi when his master didn't know, but Splinter had been awake. It was a song he'd sung when his sons were small to get them to sleep. And now it was gentle, warm, from years from that only he could recall. He began to sing. "Leaves from the vine, falling so slow." The words wove through the battlefield like incense, cutting deeper than any blade. Heroes and students fell silent. Even the savage clash of dragons faltered. Like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Leonardo's wings shuddered. The snarl softened. Confusion flickering in glowing eyes. Ancient fury wavered. "Little soldier boy, come marching home." The dragon turned slowly away from the other dragon, toward the small figure kneeling on broken stone. Splinter opened his arms wide, tears flowing freely. "That's right, my son. Focus on me," he said gently. "Come home." The massive head lowered, jaws parting to reveal smoke curling within. Splinter's tears dampened his whiskers, but he didn't flinch. Leonardo, let the power go. I will protect you, as I did when you were small. Please, before it destroys you again. The sound that emerged was broken, growling, yet unmistakably Leonardo. Father? Yes, my son. The dragon's great head sank into Splinter's lap. Trembling claws stroked rough scales as wings slowly furled. Claws retracted. The burning marks dimmed to nothing. Finally his true form emerged, pale, fevered, barely conscious. His eyes fluttered open with tremendous effort. Father? Yes, Leonardo. Splinter's tears fell on his son's cheek as he gathered him close. I'm here. Then Leonardo went completely limp, breath shallow but alive. Absolute silence blanketed the arena. Even the crowd forgot to breathe. Aizawa quietly signaled the match's end, his communicator already buzzing with reports from across the school. Strange incidents involving the other 3 students with similar quirks to Leonardo. In the stands, Class 1A exchanged stricken glances. None more haunted than Izuku, whose face bore the weight of guilt he didn't understand. They couldn't know in other parts of UA. 3 brothers were experiencing their own awakening, their own burning pain, their own glimpse of a past they couldn't quite grasp. Splinter rocked his eldest son, voice breaking as he whispered into the stillness. I have you, and I will never let you go again.